I'm going to talk to you next about creating a symbol in the library and the reasons for doing that and how it can benefit and help you in your animation. Normally while you're working on your animations, you've got this main screen open, you're working within the scene of the animation, and you have your properties bar open, and that's how you've been sort of manipulating and making changes so far. We're going to start looking into this thing called the library, which is a place where you can have an animation repeat over and over and over, and you don't have to reconstruct the animation every time down here in the timeline. For example, in this purple circle with the black dot, I'd like the black dot to rotate around and around inside this purple circle, and I want it to just keep on doing that while everything else is happening. So I'm going to create a symbol to do that so I don't have to animate it over and over. So I'm going to just select the blue circle in the back, hold shift and select the black circle, right click on it and choose convert to symbol. It's going to pop up and it will give you symbol 1, rename it, and make it a movie clip. You have a few options down here. Buttons are used for things like starting and stopping movies. Graphic symbols are good, but they don't necessarily have movement within them. We're going to use a movie clip and just say OK. Okay, and then you'll see over in your library that a new symbol will appear. All these other tweens that are in here are things that you've actually created within your animation already, and the library is keeping track of all of that stuff for you. So don't delete any of this stuff because you're going to affect this. But you do want to double click on the new symbol and you're going to get your little purple and black circle in here. Now I need to break these two things apart because I want this to move separate from this, and right now layer 1, there's only one layer for all those things. So I'm just going to copy and cut it, make a new layer, and in frame 1 paste that black circle back in and move it back to where it was. You can use your arrow keys to move things more exactly. I'm also going to zoom in on this so we don't have such a hard time animating. Okay, so this layer is black circle. This is, let's call it purple circle. Great. Okay, so I'm going to do just a basic guided tween around a circle. So I'm going to add 2 keyframes at the end. So this is going to happen over 30 frames. And I actually want the black circle to move around within. So this guy doesn't need a classic tween, but this one does. I'm actually also going to right click on black circle. This will be a bit of a review for how to do a classic motion guide. But I'll show you how to have something follow through a perfect loop because it can get really complicated. Basically the program gets confused as to where you're trying to go. So I'm going to use the circle tool here, oval tool. I'm going to draw a circle without any fill. Any stroke is fine because you're not actually going to see it anyway. Let's draw a circle for it to follow, and we're going to grab the black circle with our main selection tool, and he's starting out here and we want him to end up at the end again, but if we just try to do this where we've not told Flash to move it anywhere, so it's best to kind of nudge it along. We're going to insert a keyframe about 9 frames in. I'm going to nudge him along, put him here, so now you can see he goes from here to here, and then a little bit farther, really not an exact science, just sort of, you know, get an idea of where you want it to be. He can end up here. Okay, and then Flash understands that I want this thing to zip all the way around. So sometimes it just takes a couple of extra keyframes. Okay, so the cool thing is, here's my animation now. Whee! Fantastic. It's just going to keep repeating. That's what's neat about it. You're not going to see this green circle because it's on a guided layer. So right now at the top of our screen we can see we're working in the purple and black circle movie clip. We're going to go back to the scene. Rather than deleting this, since I'm going to actually just cover it with the new symbol, which was made out of these exact same shapes, I'm just going to put it on top. I'm going to add a new layer, and I'm going to drag in the symbol and place it on top. Line it up so it fits in there well. And what you'll see is there are 30 frames in here, so it should go around once before 30, and then it should go around a second time before 60. And the only way to see the animation within a symbol is to export your movie by doing Command Enter or Control Enter. So now you see that this thing will just completely continue to roll around and around while everything else is happening. It will just keep on doing that. And you can still do things like You know, if you ended up continuing this animation along to 100 and you wanted this to suddenly get bigger or smaller, you can still do that and the animation will just keep on rolling. The fun thing about symbols is you can keep on grabbing them and putting them in too. So you could actually have a whole bunch of these guys. Now, don't forget what I said about making your thing look chaotic, so let's not do this. Don't make things look too crazy, but I'm just going to show you this so you get a sense of how a symbol works, because you can just keep using them over and over, which is going to be to your advantage in certain cases. So here they are. Looks like a bunch of crazy googly eyes. But I think you understand now that if you take something out of the library and you bring it in, it's just going to keep on doing it, and you can change and manipulate it without having to redo the animation over and over. Okay, so go give that a shot, and good luck.